Hello and welcome back to our unit on inventors. My name is Ms. Pucci and today we are talking about the inventors of communication. So again, you can probably guess pretty quickly one of the things we're going to talk about today, but think about other ways that we've learned to communicate and what inventions have impacted communication over the years. Now, our key objectives, they have not changed. They are still to identify key inventors and connect them with their most impactful inventions, and we are still going to be seeing how these inventions have affected daily life and history as a whole. So let's jump right in. Our inventors for today are Samuel Morse, Alexander Graham Bell, and Tim Berners-Lee. You might have heard of a couple of these people before, or at least be familiar with the things that they've made. So let's jump in. Samuel Morse was born in 1791 in Massachusetts of the United States. He died in 1872, but he attended Yale College at the time, as Yale University now. But he was an artist and he was an inventor. So he actually went to Yale for art, very ironically. But he was very, very smart and he used his artistic skills to sketch some of his earliest inventions. And fun fact, he went to Yale for art, but it was against his father's advice. So, his most notable inventions were the telegraph and Morse code. I'm going to be honest with you, my ability to play videos for some reason, is just not working. So, I'm going to explain the process of how the telegraph works. Basically, the telegraph was the very first way to be able to send email in a way. You were able to send electronic letters through wires rather than needing a paper and pencil and needing it delivered, which was way ahead of its time and was very much needed. And he also invented Morse code because the way that it would work is that you would tap things out over the telegraph, and then you would receive it, and you would just receive a bunch of taps, and all of the taps symbolize different letters, which you would construct into words and sentences, and that's how you'd interpret it. So he invented that Morse code, which was kind of a language all in and of itself. But that was a huge invention for the time and definitely improved our ability to communicate with each other. Next, we have Alexander Graham Bell. He was born in 1847. He died in 1922. He was born in Scotland. He also attended Yale, and he was a researcher and an inventor. And he invented the telephone. Fun fact, Bell's mother and wife were deaf, so he actually took great interest in helping the deaf, which means he cared very much about people who could not hear, which seems kind of ironic for someone who invented the telephone, since that was how you would hear and you would speak. Oops. But the telephone, of course, we know a lot about it. It is definitely transcended time. We still use them, albeit they look very different. He still was a key player in that. So thank you, Alexander Graham Bell, for the telephone. Finally, we have Tim Berners-Lee. He is still alive. He was born in 1955 in England. He went to the University of Oxford, and he is a computer scientist. Can you guess what he might have invented? Fun fact, Tim Berners-Lee was knighted by the Queen of England, so his name is actually Sir Tim Berners-Lee. Very, very interesting. Have you guessed what he invented yet? He invented the World Wide Web. Again, I'm not going to show you the video. This video was just an interview with him. I think it was about 10 years ago, where basically he explained why he wanted to invent the World Wide Web. Here's the thing. He didn't invent the internet. The internet already existed. It was actually just used for the military. But there was nothing you could really do on it. You could basically just send emails, and that was about it. Tim Berners-Lee wanted to be able to go onto the internet and explore web pages and learn information and be connected in a whole other way. And so that is what he connected. He connected the World Wide Web, which is now laid over top of the internet and allows us to do everything that we are doing here today. So I guess if it weren't for Tim Berners-Lee, we would not be meeting in this way right now. So thank you, Tim Berners-Lee. All right, folks, let's review. Samuel Morse invented the telegraph, Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, and Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web. Now, here of course are my sources. And if you thought this was a quick lesson, there's a reason for that. I've got I've got a really cool, somewhat intense project for you to work on now that you've learned about all of these inventors. I've got one more quick quiz for you. Please ignore my typo on the screen. I meant inventors of communication, not of the nuts and bolts. That was your first lesson. So you're going to go to the Google form. You're going to fill that out for me. It's very, very quick. It's just review questions, no essay today. And then I have another video for you. It's going to follow up and show you how to complete your final assignment. If you need any help, as always, ask your teacher. Ask me on Twitter at juliapucci.edu. Go to my website, www.juliapucci.edu.weebly.com. And of course, you can ask your friends for any technological issues, but please don't ask them for any help completing your assignments. That is all I have for you. Thank you so much for enjoying this unit with me. I've had so much fun making it, and I look forward to seeing your final projects. Thanks. Bye.